is joy in serving you, Lord. Jesus Christ, my King. I will follow, lead me, Lord.
Hi, I'm Claire.
And I'm Joe.
We're the Buttons. We have four kids. I'm a stay-at-home mom.
And I'm a shop teacher.
And we're from Ennismore. Sort of. I grew up in Ennismore, and I always wanted to get married and have a family. But I also wanted to do God's will. But I wanted that will for me to get married and have a family. In my early 20s, I started looking for whoever this man was that I was supposed to marry. But I couldn't find him. And I said, okay, God, you want me to get married, you have to make it abundantly clear who it is that you want me to marry, because I have no idea who it is. At the time, I was working for Net Ministries of Canada in Ottawa.
So I grew up in a small town in South Australia, just like Ennismore, only almost exactly on the opposite side of the world. And I'd always hoped that God was calling me to marriage, but I'd never met anyone on my own continent that I could see myself marrying. I even lived and travelled in Europe for a few years to see if she might live there, and she didn't live there either. A little over 12 years ago, I decided to do something different, and I gave a year of my life as a volunteer Catholic youth missionary with Net Ministries of Canada. And my first week in Canada, I met this amazing woman, and she was from Ennismore. So over the next year or so, she became my best friend, and I realised that this was someone that I wanted to spend a lot of time with, someone I could see myself marrying. So I teach almost an hour away, so my alarm goes off fairly early each day. I then roll over and usually say, hey, let's go and have breakfast.
So every morning we get up and we have breakfast together. And we actually play a game as well. Right now it's the card game 500, but sometimes it's the board game Ticket to Ride, or Pandemic. But that all got a little too real, so we stopped playing that one.
But it's a team effort, so I'm making coffee and usually eggs for us, and then getting the kids fed and dressed for their day too. Then when I leave, it's kisses all round and my daily rosary on the drive. When I get to school, I text or call to touch base and let Claire know that I've arrived safely, and just to make sure that things are still running smoothly back home.
So when Joe leaves for school, the kids and I start to get ready for the day. In theory, they could get themselves ready, but they're still quite young and need a bit of encouragement and support in that. They're 5, 7, and 8, the ones that go to school. So once all the lunches are made, bags are packed, and teeth are brushed, we all head outside for a bit of a play before the bus comes. And so for me, my goal for the day is that I try and tackle all the needs of our home before Joe and the kids get home themselves, so that we can just spend time as a family in the evening.
I usually touch base with Claire again during the day, just catch up on how our day has been, and get reminders of what's happening that night, whether it's hockey practice, maybe a staff meeting, a dentist appointment, perhaps a grocery list, or even what's for supper that night.
One of my favorite things about my day is actually the quality time that I get to spend with our youngest daughter. She is a wonderful stay-at-home companion, and she's very sweet and actually quite helpful. I know that in a year she will be off to school with her siblings, so I really treasure the cuddles and the quality time that I get to spend with her while it's just the two of us at home. So after our day, the big kids get home from school, and then they basically eat until dinner, and then we go over their day and we hang out until Daddy gets home.
So when my school day's done, and usually when I'm about half the way home, I'll call with an ETA and even just chat about the afternoon's happenings. When I get home and walk in the door, it's like an explosion of excited people enthusiastically shouting, "Dad!" Then, as in the morning, it's kisses all round and time to hear stories from a day in the life of 3 elementary school students and a 3-year-old who got to hang out with Mum.
Joe and I actually both love to cook, so in our house, dinner is usually a team effort. And then at some point, homework gets done in the evening, and then we spend the rest of the time hanging out together as a family before our night prayers. After the kids are in bed, Joe and I spend quality time together. Every night, no matter what, we always have a cup of tea and catch up on what happened throughout the day.
So I grew up as a kind of solo Catholic family in my hometown. We had friends that my family would hang out with, and they were awesome. but their fellowship was not one of faith. As Claire said, we both love to cook, we also love to eat, and we love to hang out with friends and family. Whenever possible, before COVID of course, we love to host a meal for our friends or family and spend time catching up or visiting, playing games or music, with the focus being on our faith.
We want our faith to be at the center of our family. And we love to surround ourselves with people and other families that they want the same. Someone once told us that our family's charism is hospitality. And maybe that's just a faith-based way of saying we like to have parties, which is true. But it's a beautiful way to bring people together, to upbuild each other and to support each other. Parenting can be hard, and being a Christian can be very tough. But we're not meant to do it alone.
We have a beautiful community of friends, one that we're fortunate to have been a part of for the last 6 years. A community that we have hopefully helped in ways that we ourselves have been helped through witness and action of our faith. Hopefully we will continue to help each other and ourselves as we grow in fellowship and in holiness, so that we and our children don't have to live our faith by ourselves.